It feels like it belongs to someone else.
What's going on, everyone? It's Sam. Welcome back to the channel. And with WandaVision over, it's time to turn our attention to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I'm joined here by the podcast co-host and a friend of mine, Colin. What's going on?
Yo, what's up?
This is going to be our new series for the channel called The Inevitable, Improbable, and The Implausible. So we're going to each give our 2 theories per category before each project starts, and then come back to it afterwards to see if we were true or if our rumors got debunked. So as always though, before we do start, if you're new to the channel or if you just like Marvel, the MCU, comics, and everything in between, subscribe and do leave a like if you enjoy. But other than that, let's get into the video. Let's go. Alright, so to start it off with our theories here, we're going to start with the inevitable. First thinking about this, the first thing that came to my mind is Sam, after learning the history of the S.H.I.E.L.D., Isaiah Bradley, in his past, I think he accepts the mantle. I think in general it fits into the show, and so the narrative adventure of the B-list characters that we saw from WandaVision and probably what we're going to get with all the other shows, I think that's where we're going to get with this.
So we're going to get like a takeover of the mantle, like from now on he's not known as the Falcon, he's Captain America?
Yeah, like Sam Wilson, Captain America.
Is that going to be like contention, or is it like, are we going to get a cliffhanger, like, you know, in our mind he's Captain America, or is he actually going to be Captain America?
I think he's his own version of Captain America. Like he is a symbol of the S.H.I.E.L.D.
But he's going to keep his powers.
Was, but in his own way.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. That's a good one. What else you got?
Number 2, I'm going to go with U.S. Agent is the equivalent to Homelander. If you haven't seen The Boys, go check it out. Homelander, he is basically an absolute asshole behind the scenes, but right as he gets in public, he just has that minimal ego, I should say.
So he's playing a part.
Yeah. I think ultimately what we get is him joining the Thunderbolts for like an ego revenge in U.S. Agent.
Like he's pissed off and he wants it back.
Yeah, and I think there's one scene in the comics or clip, whatever you want to say, page. He says like, that shield isn't yours, and he says, come and get it. And then U.S. Agent and Sam Wilson have an iconic moment in the comic. It's a fight, and I think they need to do it. I think it's gonna happen.
So like an actual fight over the shield, that's in your inevitable, like a physical fight for the shield of Captain America. You know what? I'd buy that. I mean, I kind of, both your theories, I can kind of see coming true, and I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, the fight's more of like a symbolic type thing, but you know, him fighting for the shield, I think that's how it's gonna go down.
And here's the thing: is that the shield has always been a symbol. I mean, if you look back to the end of Civil War, when Cap's walking away with, you know, Bucky in his arms after he just, you know, almost killed Iron Man, he said, "Drop that shield. My father made that shield." Like, it's the symbolic, and then in Endgame when he gives it back to him. So I think, yeah, I completely agree with it. And one of my inevitable points, actually, you know, coincides with yours. I do think Sam will be the main focus of this, and at the end he will take up the mantle. But I think it's the show in general is going to be more focused on the super soldier serum than anything else. I think it's something that we've seen teased in Incredible Hulk, obviously in Captain America. Bucky's got it shot up in his arm. You know, we got this herb out in Wakanda that can turn people into the Black Panther. I just think this world has to address that problem, and I think it's going to come up in this show. But yeah, I also think too that Baron Zemo is actually going to team up with them because of this. I think that Zemo is someone who's very ideological, and I think that at the end of the day, he's going to go to Anthony Mackie, the Falcon, and be like, I'm going to team up with you to stop whatever this movement is of super soldiers coming out of nowhere. You know, it's not...
Superheroes cannot exist.
Exactly. It's not...
The trailer says.
It's not that superheroes, this anarchy can't exist. He doesn't care about that. He just cares about the superpowered people because they bring destruction. So I think that's going to be a huge plot point. Don't get me wrong. Zemo's going to be bad. He's a bad guy. He's a villain. He's an obvious villain, but I don't think he's going to work with anybody. I don't think he's going to have any ulterior motives. I just think he's going to be this rogue agent in the MCU that's going to pop up here and there that, you know, wields probably some sort of power. I don't know, maybe he gets the serum, but I mean, you never know. And then also too, that goes into my second point, which is we're going to see major power-ups. We saw a major power-up with Wanda and WandaVision. I think as we dive deeper into these characters' past, they're gonna grow more, and with that comes major power-ups. I think, and here's a long shot, I'm gonna write it down as inevitable, and when I'm wrong, I'll address it in the next video you guys see. But I think Sam is gonna get the super soldier serum. I don't think he's gonna want to take it, but I think he's gonna get it. And I think at the end of this, not only is he gonna have the abilities of the Falcon upgraded with whatever Stark and Wakandan tech that he has, but he's also gonna have super strength. And I think that this is going to tie into this. It's not the person that wants the power. Like, he's not going to want it, right? Just like Captain America didn't want to become a super soldier, but he did it for the greater good. I think Sam's going to have to make that same decision. And I think that in line with that too, maybe not as heavy, but we'll see that with the Winter Soldier, and we'll see it with Bucky. And I'm assuming we're going to see some Wakandan tech, because we haven't seen anything cool from his arm other than shooting a machine gun.
Yeah, they need to really give him a different power except for shooting a machine gun.
Right? I mean, he is a super soldier. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's 50-50 on for me if Sam gets some sort of serum.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see the Weapons Plus program. I think we're going to maybe see...
Imagine Weapon X?
I'm not going to say... Yeah, I'm going to say no for right now. We'll talk about that. So I'll just go into my... we're going to go into the Improbables now.
So we're in the Improbable.
So my first one here.
So don't take all this with a grain of salt.
Yes. Don't let these theories start, changing your way of the show. Number one here. Playing off what you said, I think Zemo plays nice, tries to befriend them to get closer to something he needs in Madripoor. So, not essentially stopping someone. Maybe he does.
So can you tell me a bit about Madripoor or whatever it is?
So one of my points in Implausible, I talk about it a little bit how it is, so we can get into it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think in the end he's working for Ross. I think there's already a Thunderbolt team slowly working itself, and we're gonna see that Ross filmed a post-credit for Black Widow.
Yes.
Now Black Widow was supposed to be before this. It's possible they maybe threw it into this at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, so we'll see.
Ooh, that could be true. Well, I kind of disagree with you, obviously, based on my first point, but
yeah.
I don't know if I really buy every villain we're gonna see from here on out that's low level is gonna become a Thunderbolt. I mean, Marvel plays it slow. I don't think we're gonna see Scorpion that much in Spider-Man 3, even though they tease him in the first Spider-Man. I just think that Marvel likes to nod to certain things, but I mean, I don't think Zemo automatically is going to become a Thunderbolt. I don't know. That's why I think it's improbable.
The only reason I say that is because he's like one of the main ones. Yeah, I think they'll keep it kind of similar to the Young Avengers. People are talking about like Miss Marvel and stuff being in the Young Avengers. I don't think they do that at all. I think they keep it pretty. I mean, maybe they do, because there's a Champions team. I don't know if you know that lineup, but a lot of those people are coming into the MCU too. So interestingly, if they see, if they start to make like combined teams in a way, of some of the younger cast members, and then obviously Thunderbolts and stuff. So we'll see.
What's your next one? Your next improbable point.
So my next improbable point is we will see the first MCU mutant. Now, obviously, we have kind of already seen mutants. I mean, you can literally say Monica is in a way. So my thing is we'll get to see the first MCU mutant, and it's Omega Red. And he's rumored to be in Falcon and Winter Soldier. He actually has, ties to the super serum. And basically who he is a serial killer from Russia, captured, turned into the KBG. They attempted to create a similar version of Captain America. Omega Red was the result. He's an absolute unit. I don't know if you've seen him.
No, I haven't.
But villainous. So I think by us diving with Sam looking into the past of that shield represents more. It's complicated, what he says in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see the Isaiah Bradley story.
Yep.
I think we're going to start to see people before Cap that were failures like Omega Red, and it would make sense that he's rumored to be in the show because he's one of the same way with Red Guardian in Black Widow. He's kind of like a failed version, anti-hero villain type person. So
I mean, that's kind of what Bucky is too. I mean, by addressing that past, they're going to have to address Bucky's past.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's coming.
I mean, he killed JFK, right? I mean, isn't that what they insinuated? Yeah, I agree to a certain extent with both of those. I don't know if we're going to get mutants. The last time we ran amok with mutant theories, we were all disappointed. And now that I know that, they've announced the mutant movie, and it's coming out, and it's going to be like an origin story, and they're casting all new people. Well, that's the rumors, obviously. But if that comes to pass, I just really don't think we see any tease for a mutant until then. I don't think we get any explanation.
I think that's more of like the X-Men origin. Like the first comic run, like Stan Lee, I think it was Stan Lee who did it. He called them the mutants. Like they weren't called the X-Men originally.
No, I know, but I just don't even think they introduced a concept. Why? It's like putting the cart before the horse. It's the same reason they didn't put multiverse in Scarlet Witch or in WandaVision.
Well, the Eternals is explaining the X gene.
I mean, if that's the case, then I'm going to sound like an idiot, but I don't know. I just don't think, I think we're going to get superpowered people, and I think you're right. Like, we're going to get failed experiments of super soldier serums, but I don't think it's going to have anything to do, at least directly. Maybe they'll retcon it to be, oh, that was a mutant. But like, I don't think we're gonna talk about mutants. I don't think they're gonna come up.
That makes a lot of sense. I like that.
Yeah, and I'll talk about that in my improbable or my impossible. But anyways, my improbable. You know, it's kind of hard to think about just because of how long the show is gonna be. But one of the things that I kind of latched onto, I think you put in one of your videos, was about Isaiah Bradley and his nephew being a young Avenger.
Yeah, Elijah.
Yeah, I really think, I mean, we could get a tease for Young Avenger. I think Captain America as a symbol represents, you know, leading a team at the end of Ultron. We see him up in front of everybody. He is the leader. Like Tony says it in one of the movies, like, I just pay the bills. Like, talk to that guy. He's the leader. So I think inherently, when Sam steps into this role, he's going to have to be a leader of somebody. So I think that's why we're going to start to see the Young Avengers form. I think even if it just starts off with, what's his name? Eli.
Yeah, his name's Patriot.
Yeah, well, anyway, even if we see the Patriot, like, even if we see that as a seed towards Young Avengers, I think it could start here. And I think even a post-credit scene could tease at that. Okay, my second improbable. I love this one because you haven't brought it up yet. Old Steve. I think he's coming back. I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people were confused about how Steve left off. And a lot of people were Endgame, and a lot of people were confused about Wanda. Well, they answered Wanda's question, right? Like, we know the answer. We don't know a lot about what happened with Cap. And I think that it might not happen because they don't want to bring it back and, you know, contracts and all that, blah, blah, blah. But I really think we might see him again. I really think Steve or Chris Evans did a great job as Old Steve in the scene that he was in. And I think we could see him maybe up front. Maybe we see like a continuation of the final scene and that's it. Or we see him at the end as like a mentor, like they nod to him. I had this crazy, either it was a fever dream last night, but I dreamed that Chris Evans was going to be the new Stan Lee in every movie, but as old Cap. And he was going to be like a watcher, like in every movie. That'd be sick. But I don't think they'd do it. But anyways, I just think that he has to come back in some sense. They didn't kill him. If someone's not dead, they're coming back. Might not be now. Whatever. What do you think about that? What do you think about Old Steve? I'm interested.
I don't think he's in the show. I don't think Chris Evans filmed.
Damn it, Alex.
But they will obviously allude to him a lot. And Chris Evans is coming back in the future, so who knows? You know, maybe they.
What if he just filmed it at the end of Endgame? I mean, let's be honest. They
That's
tell
possible.
they tell us a lot of stuff, but they straight up lied to us for a year and told us Endgame wasn't the title of the final Avengers movie, the fourth Avengers movie. They straight up said it's never been said in any movie before, and it had. Anyways, they lied to us. That's all I'm saying.
You know what I can see them doing is, like you said, they filmed after Endgame.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the first scenes we see, maybe like an alternate
and that would blow fans' minds.
View.
It'd be like
an alternate view of it or something where it's told from like Bucky's story.
Yeah. Oh, like before, like, oh, he talks to Cap. What if it shows Bucky talking to Cap before he hops in the time machine? Because Bucky knew he was going to stay in the past. Didn't we theorize that originally?
Yeah, Bucky knew he was going to stay in the past, and he also knew to nod Sam over to Steve.
God, I hope this comes true. I think that could happen. I think early on we could either we see it as a flashback maybe of Bucky talking to him before he goes back in time, but that would be awesome.
The Improbables. Are we on to the implausible now?
Implausible.
All right. Here I go. So, number 1, Wolverine is not in the show. All right?
I
don't really have to elaborate too much.
You don't?
I know the ties. I know he's a big part of Madripoor. But the music, like you said, the Mutants project was just rumored. I don't think they talk about any X-Men really, unless Storm is in Black Panther 2. Maybe Weapon X is mentioned as a, like, okay, mutants do exist in the MCU. They obviously exist in the MCU, right? I mean, it's no secret.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a huge retcon in, like, where they go back into the 60s and we get to see Professor X growing up. I think they'll
Something
do that.
Crazy, yeah.
But I don't think they'll tease it till then. But continue.
And number 2, in the comics, Madripoor rests on the head of a giant dragon. So this is really interesting. It doesn't look like it from the trailer that Madripoor, I mean, maybe it is. But the dragon is eventually awakened by the Hand. They're like a ninja clan that worships the demon named the Beast.
From the Defenders, which obviously isn't canon.
Yes, correct. I mean, you can, okay, so a lot of people talk about this, canon or not canon. If it's not in the MCU, you can say whatever you want. It's not part of the story, so let's not worry about it.
But
anyway,
here's the thing. You know what? I'm not even going to get into it, but all I'm going to say is that even though the movies didn't reference the Netflix shows heavily reference the movies.
So they start to like play around with this dragon and try to awaken it. Eventually it does. I wonder if we see the clan. That's a possibility, but I highly doubt that we see the dragon come alive.
Yeah.
Although it would be sick.
That would be crazy. Yeah, so your implausible is that a dragon won't fly with a city attached to its head. I mean, that's pretty legit. That's a pretty good implausible. Okay.
Correct.
My 2 are kind of similar. I don't think the mutants are going to be mentioned at all. I don't think we're going to hear a word. We're going to get a character not. I don't think we're going to get crap. The closest thing we might get is what you mentioned about Weapon X. Also,
all right.
I don't think we're going to get any Skrulls. I think some people think this might set up Secret Invasion. I hope not. I think Skrulls are a very interesting thing, and they're going to pay off sometime down the line, but I don't know if they need to show up in every single MCU project from here to Secret Invasion. I really don't. And I think that it could get old really fast. Maybe it's just me not wanting them there, but I just hope that they don't show up.
So here's something I'll say. Because of the nature of Secret Invasion, obviously being secret and stuff, and kind of like how we know there were Skrulls in WandaVision, and at the end too, it's just like it's a 2-minute scene. So I don't think they're going to be big, but I think we can see like a real quick, because you think about it, you don't know who's who, right? Anybody could be a Skrull. And so maybe we see like one character be a Skrull or something, but I think it's just more of like the hint of like, okay, this is Secret Invasion. This is what we're going for. Like everywhere has been infiltrated. You can't go anywhere in any sort of government across the world, especially the US government, stuff like that, where you're not going to see a Skrull or some sort of Skrull infiltration. So I think maybe
that's kind of cool. Well, when you paint it like that,
yeah.
I hope they're not in this show though.
I don't think they're going to be a factor at all, but like maybe like that.
Well, that's it.
That is it.
I guess we'll come back in how many weeks? How many episodes again? 6?
Yeah, so we're getting 6 episodes over 6 weeks, obviously. We'll definitely come back to this. This is the new series on the channel called The Inevitable, Improbable, and Implausible. As always, though, don't hype yourself up from these theories. They are just theories. Just remember. I will have more videos, of course, on Falcon and Winter Soldier coming up. Follow me on Twitter at AnotherMarvelG for all updates and announcements. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and comment what your thoughts are. And other than that, I just want to say thank you, or we want to say thank you, actually, because there's 2 of us here. I'm Another Marvel Guy. He's Colin.
Peace.
We'll catch y'all on a blip.